In the peace of his countryside retreat, Boris Johnson is building his defences, calling MPs and preparing for a report into allegations of lockdown-breaking parties that will determine how much longer he gets to call this prime ministerial residence his own. Down the road in his outer London constituency, voters are scathing on a scandal the government has struggled to shift.
The party stuff just messed it all up, so he won't get a second vote.
Lying like that to everyone, I don't think that's good at all. It doesn't look good at all. It's quite embarrassing.
He should stay. Yeah, he's done a good job.
He should go. Yeah, definitely.
He was partying during the lockdown and he was being irresponsible. So he should go.
Then there's this.
The reports of which I'm aware would seem to constitute blackmail.
Allegations from a senior MP of intimidation and blackmail against MPs trying to remove Boris Johnson. No sight of William Wragg in his Greater Manchester constituency today, but he has said he'll be meeting the police next week to discuss the accusations. This barrister says the authorities will need to decide whether it's in the public interest to pursue a conviction.
That's going to be a very tricky decision for any prosecutor because, of course, there's this conflict between the workings of Parliament and the legal system, which has always been a problem. But right here, we're seeing the police potentially becoming involved right in the middle of the heart of Parliament and the heart of the government process.
Attempts to scare politicians into line here are nothing new, but a legal intervention could open up further cases. The argument over the heavy-handed treatment of MPs is part of a broader disintegration in the relationship between Boris Johnson and some in his party. To try to combat this, the Prime Minister has reassembled a team of close allies to try to rally support and protect his position if, or quite possibly when, a formal attempt to remove him materialises. This former MP, who was kicked out of the Tory party over a Brexit vote, says the actions of the government whips in enforcing party discipline is not a matter for the police.
People know that the whips will use strong-arm tactics, if I can put it that way, to try and get people to vote their way, and that is the way politics is. And Boris Johnson and his whips wanted to get through next week. They want to avoid a leadership election, so they'll use the tactics that will get them through that issue, whether it poisons relationships with a large part of their party long term, whether revenge is a dish that will be eaten cold by some of the backbench MPs that they've managed to get into line this time, we'll have to wait and see.
Boris Johnson is used to escaping from tight spots, but Sue Gray's inquiry into Downing Street parties will test him to his limits. Its publication next week, a moment of grave danger for one of the great political survivors.